takeaways from day two?
The guys are coming out and attacking, really respecting how the group is answering the challenges. Now it's kind of like the honeymoon, right? So we're all excited. Day two beginning, new crew, new defense, new staff, all that stuff. So we're building this culture all together, coaches included, but I am excited about the direction we're going.
How different is it from your perspective, even of the interior of the defensive line, when you have 3 guys back, 2 transfers, 2 freshmen, 7 different bodies compared to the spring?
Yeah, really excited to have the individuals we have. To be honest, and it's always like this at this level of play, it's difficult to assess those guys with no pads on, so sometimes guys will look a lot better like in underwear Olympics, and we'll find out probably a lot more building starting tomorrow when we get into we're going to have some pads on, I believe, so start finding out up front what we're really made of.
Dan was really crediting Brandon quite a bit, by way of Dorless, that is, of just what he's done this offseason. What have you seen from him heading into the fall camp?
Yeah, he's worked for it, and I think he's got definitely tunnel vision focus on what he wants to do this season. So the challenge is doing it one day at a time. So I know his sights are set on some really big goals, and I think that's our job along with him to really understand the importance of attacking it on a daily basis.
Where do you see room for improvement for him still? What areas do you want to see him over the next month kind of shore up?
I think, I could be here for a couple hours probably per individual. So we all have a long ways to go, a lot of improvement ahead. But there's some things, he offers us some versatility. So he's someone that we can tax if he can handle it mentally, in some multiple spots on our defense because of that versatility. He's a bigger guy that can move well. So once we get our pads on, we'll start to find out a lot more about him and everybody else in our defense.
At Media Day, Noah called Justin the team spirit animal. In what ways does that show itself out there?
I know of 5 Justins. No,
Flo.
4. Flo?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you call him?
He was the team spirit animal. That's what Noah said.
Spirit animal?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what he means by that.
Just that he's probably just embodies the identity of the team.
Okay. I'm not sure. We haven't been talking a lot about spirit animals in the defensive meetings, so I don't know.
In what ways does kind of Justin kind of showing his personality that he has out there on the field, and also Justin and Noah together, what that's like out there, having them both there in the middle of your defense? I'm
excited to have his presence. He's someone. The thing I love about Justin is we got to constantly tell him to slow down, and I'd rather do that than have to demand someone every day to speed up. So he's a guy that you got to constantly remind to slow down. Sometimes a walkthrough looks like it's 4th and 1 with the game on the line. But I love his intensity, I love his mental focus, and really excited about the potential that he can serve in our defense.
At what point do you get the importance of improving his coverage skills? Just where do you see that? Where's the improvement have to come, and how has he done so far through off-season workouts?
I think he's challenged himself. So if you just look at his body and his body weight, he's really committed to that. So, he's a guy that can move from point A to point B with a lot of speed and violence. And he's a guy that has some versatility to his game, really, as well. So, we put a lot on that position at times of what he needs to do, from a coverage standpoint. And he's been doing a nice job of answering those for us.
Coach Lanning wanted to see a little bit more toughness. Did that come out today in practice at all? Did you notice?
I think it was really good to see how the defense responded at the end after at times giving up way too many explosive plays to finish. However, again, I think a lot more will be telling as we get pads on.
Yeah, you mentioned the honeymoon phase a little bit. So does that end when pads go on in your mind a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Or, it's still first day of pads, so we'll be really excited. And, so will everybody else in the country that gets that day. And then we'll find out. I think toughness will come along with as you do it each day. Can we wake up? Can we come to the meetings with the right intensity? Can we have the attention to detail that's required? Can we mentally lock in when we need to? And then when we go out in the field, can we execute it with some physicality and violence?
You guys added 3 freshmen in the secondary over the summer. Just curious in terms of corner versus safety for each of them, for Kamari, Trajan, and Tucker, just where you lining those guys up at first?
Yeah, I think it's important in this defense. We do. There's a lot of variety we ask of these guys. We're a multiple defense. All right, so we're not going to typically play a guy at one position. We want to move him around. It can tax him mentally at times, but we want to find out how do we get our best 11 on the field. That's to me, in my opinion, of what a good coach and a good program can do is, utilizing their best 11. So per situation of football, whatever that requires, we're going to do our best to put the best 11 out.
What's your philosophy on leading on freshmen, Tosh? They realize further away from the ball, generally, the faster they can possibly see the field. But you had the luxury of not having to do that a lot since Marlon and Minka, and those were first-round picks. So just what's your philosophy in terms of how soon freshmen really can be thrown to the lines?
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with you as far as, at the tradition where I was at, the place you mentioned, we played true freshmen all over the place. So it's going to come down to, again, who can handle it mentally and who the best on the field is. So, if there's a younger guy that can offer us an advantage, he's going to play for us. And then it's got to be my job and the coach's jobs that, we make complexities clear.
You stack day after day and eventually weeks after weeks. How do you evaluate progress during fall camp for the defense?
I think we challenge them every day to operate to the standard. So, in the spring ball, did a lot of positive reinforcement, right? Again, now we got a reality check, right? So now we're going to point out what's not to our standard, and we're going to celebrate what is.
So you guys had referees out there today. How active were they?
How active were the referees? I think they executed their job. There was a lot of flags.
More than you'd like? Okay.
But both sides of the ball, we're going to try to replicate game day in every possible way, and that's another one right there.
And adding Casey and Jordan, I know obviously the relationship with Tony there, but what do you see from two veteran guys who were able to add in the D-line at the transfer portal?
Excited, and mostly too about the additions to our culture with those guys. So those guys have done everything we've asked of them from a nutrition standpoint, what they're doing in the weight room, on and off the field, and now on the field. Now again, we'll find out a lot more as we move forward in camp. So hard to assess right now, where we're at from that standpoint, but definitely love them as people and having a part of this program. Really excited to be coaching them.
At what point do you start implementing a game plan for UGA instead of more generally installed for the defense?
Yeah, we're a major focus on us right now, so that's kind of sacrilegious for us. We're so far away from where we want to be, head in that direction, but we're not referring to any other team. It's all about us, and it's about how we can improve. Morning, afternoon, we're going to go up and correct this film right now as an entire staff. We're going to go right back in and coach our asses off in the meeting room to improve. So that's all we're focused on right now.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, now have a good one.